Hello and welcome everyone to my guided meditation on learning to heal and love your past experiences. Whether you are brand new or have been on this healing journey for many years, this is a great tool and meditation to use when you're ready to activate this next level of healing. As we know, healing comes in many forms and many modalities, but many of us find that no matter how much healing we do, there are still some past experiences that hold a charge and continue to have a hold and a trigger over us. As human beings, we can find it especially difficult to fully let go and fully forgive, especially depending on what level our body has registered its trauma. But the key here is that it's not about forgiving, not at least in the way that we think, and it's definitely not about forgetting. It's about opening ourselves up to the whole picture, the whole perspective, leaning into the expansive notion of everything has its reason and its place. Everything is a journey. When we can tap into the deep belief and mindset that we are natural evolutionary beings, we are designed to continue and evolve and expand in nature. When we understand our reality and experiences are of our own creation with purpose in order to up-level and evolve, we can bring in that perspective shift and a whole new level of truth. Then we can show up as parents, spouses, friends, family members, or whatever is relevant to you, and within our community on an empowered path in the way we had intended to share our own healing codes with the world, however that looks for you. So get ready, get comfortable, find a nice quiet place wherever you are in your environment that might be lying down or sitting up straight. Push out any external noise away, both in your physical environment with children or busyness that might be going on for you, and even within your headspace. We're going to push out any to-do lists, minimize any distractions, and just allow your body to properly arrive. I'm first going to guide you through a very quick and easy energy expansion, which is going to really allow your body to come online for healing and really allows you to feel grounded and connected to both your source point and down into the earth. So taking a deep breath in here, and we're going to hold for 4 seconds before we do a big exhale out through the mouth. So breathing in and hold and exhale. And again, breathing in and hold and exhale. Breathing in and hold and exhale. Breathing in one last time and hold and exhale. Allowing your body to fall deeper and deeper into its bones, into your sit bones. Allowing your body to stay present. However, drop into that peaceful meditative state. And allowing your breathing to just return to whatever its natural flow needs to be for the moment. And allowing your focus to now come within the energy center of your body around your midline. Some might call this your solar plexus energy center. So just bringing your focus there, just above your belly button. And we're going to start to expand and stretch and really bring up and out and generate that internal energy force that you have. You may give it a color or a shimmer if you desire. And whether you visualize it or feel it doesn't matter, but just bringing your focus to that area and starting to expand. Stretch, move that energy around in that center part of your body, expanding it through your different organs, bones, nerves, through the muscles, the tissue, the fascia, allowing to expand and stretch and activate each cell of the body. Allowing this new energy starting to stretch and expand to flush out and move along any old and stagnant energy, and just bringing new light and perspective to each part of your physical body. allowing any pain or discomfort or surface level emotions that want to arise as you're sort of stretching and sweeping this energy throughout your body, allowing that to just remove itself and clear from the body, allowing yourself not to attach to any stories, just allowing them to move and stretch, expand and disappear if need to. Expanding that energy up further into your body, up into your chest cavity, again in and around those organs, up into your shoulder space, up through the neck, into the face and the crown and the skull, in and around your sinuses, all the different channels, stretching it back down the neck, back down the spine, down the arms, coming back into that torso area and starting to stretch that energy down through the pelvis, down through your legs, your knees and your feet. Setting the intention to connect back deeply into your center, yourself, your body. And setting the intention that we're bringing the whole body online for healing. Setting the intention that we're clearing and moving out any stagnant energy. And setting the intention that we are reactivating the cell structure of our body. And taking a deep breath here, and as you exhale, we're going to push that energy deep down further from our feet into the earth. And we're going to start expanding that energy through the different layers of rock, crystal, earth, dirt, iron, all the way down into the center of the earth. And here we allow ourselves and our energy bodies to plug back into the earth's frequencies, the Schumann resonance, however that resonates for you, and allowing all of those beautiful energies to come back up into the body. This is the one-dimensional plane, and we're allowing your body to remind itself of its true home and its true north, allowing you to feel safe and welcome, allowing you to feel like you're exactly where you belong, allowing you to feel connected and grounded, held and nurtured. Bringing that energy back up into the body, and again we're going to continue expanding it all the way back up to the top of the crown, weaving in and out, taking all those beautiful themes with you, and then expanding the energy at the top of the crown. And now we're going to climb up and we're going to connect in to your source point, your soul's home or your point of creation, your higher self. Whatever that feels relevant to you, you're allowing yourself to connect back in to that source and that wisdom that's ultimately you. And in this space, we don't have any right or wrong or good or bad. There's no such thing as bad experiences or good experiences, just all. And you're allowing your whole self and the magic and wisdom of your whole self to arrive, be witnessed and realized, and bringing that power back down into your body. Bringing that acceptance, that love, and that pure reverence of all that you are from this lifetime and all the others, past, present, and future. And just in this moment, you're allowing that energy field to really expand, and you're allowing yourself to feel really big and strong within yourself. And we're going to start to expand that energy field out in front of you, behind you, to the sides, above and below. And we're going to activate that torus field of energy, and we're going to have that flowing in and out from the center of the earth back up to your source point and back down again. Starting to now expand that energy up through your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual body, and back down to your physical body, and then again. And it's just constantly rotating, connecting you below to the earth and connecting you above, below and above, and keeping you on center and in power. And taking another deep breath here, we are now going to allow the wisdom of our bodies to pull forth and up our first past experience that we want to heal and dive deep into today. allowing whatever wants to come up first to be witnessed. Your body will always want to call forth the loudest or the first experience that needs to be witnessed, seen, connected, and cleared with before it might want to move on to another. So try your best to not overcomplicate this. Some of you might have a few experiences you're really wanting to heal, and we're just going to start with the loudest, more clearest and obvious one that wants to come through, and we're not going to second guess that. So a past experience can be something that's really clear to you, that's coming through right now, or it could just be a particular person or a place or even a time period who and what you've had a negative experience with. So just pulling through what is relevant for you and not making that a right or a wrong. For some of you, you may not have a particular setting or environment that wants to come forward. It might actually be an overall theme that wants to come through. So I'm actually feeling into stories around the theme of abandonment or big moments of grief that want to come through. So allowing yourself to bring through whatever experiences, people, or themes that are relevant to you in this moment that makes sense to you and your body. And firstly, we're just going to allow our body to witness those and however that's coming through for you. And just taking a moment to actually sit in it, feel it, see it, and acknowledge it without labeling it anything other than the simple context of what it is. As soon as we start to label it, that's when that charge wants to come through, which we will do in a moment. It is necessary, but for now we're just going to sort of look at it and witness it without applying too much charge to it. And this is just kind of like that higher viewpoint. We're attempting to look at this experience from that higher perspective where we've almost kind of removed our four-dimensional ego self from the picture. And we're almost trying to just look at it from an outside perspective, which is the first stage of trying to collapse and clear these traumas and experiences from the body. Is we have to remove that charge. We have to almost just kind of like zoom our vision up and out and look at it from a distance and look at it from like a whole. And just allowing that process for a moment or two to allow it to come up into the body and to be seen in a way where it's ready to be released. And you're almost setting the intention right in this moment to say to this experience, I'm viewing you in this way because we are going through a healing and clearing season with you, if that makes any kind of sense. To just really start priming the body for the experience that we're about to release. And you're allowing yourself in this moment to make that choice and say to the experience, I'm ready to release you. So after that moment of allowing yourself to witness from that higher perspective, we're now going to bring the focus back down into our fourth dimensional body, back down where we hold that charge, and we're going to start to pull up the emotions that are attached to that experience. Again, there is no right or wrong here. You might have several emotions that immediately step forward. What we're trying to do is name each one instead of letting them flood our body. We might have the emotion of hurt or frustrated or guilt, grief or powerless, shame, neglected. Those are the ones that have come through for me and feeling very strong. What is important here is that you can name the emotion. Can't just let these emotions overtake our body and not be given a name. So even just calling up each emotion that wants to come through individually and just taking a moment to name what it is that you are actually feeling. And just giving yourself a moment or two here. It doesn't have to be rushed. You can even jot down the emotions if that's how your intuition works, more than just coming through your all-knowing senses. It might be something you want to jot down. It might be something you want to journal. However your intuition works best for you in this moment, please follow it. And then when you're ready, you're actually going to allow for your hands to intuitively fall onto your body where these emotions are stored. So you're essentially asking your body, hey body, truth, where is this emotion stored? And again, however your intuition wants to work, it might just tell you straight away, or your hands might be guided to a certain area. If you're super comfortable and you don't feel like moving your hands right now, that is also okay. You can just use your focus and you can just focus on the area instead. But we're bringing our intention and our wisdom and our knowing to a certain area of the body which is holding a certain named emotion. And when we can give our body clear instructions on what emotion we're holding onto and where, it makes it so much easier and faster to clear. So that's what we're going to do right now. You're either bringing your focus or your hands to a certain part of the body with the intention behind a certain emotion. And now we're going to retract those hands potentially away from the body, or just using your focus to pull the emotion out of the body. And we're going to start to pull it through, up and out of the body, and discard. However that needs to look for you. Sometimes it looks like just falling into the ground below you to be composted. Sometimes it looks like expanding off into the cosmos to be composted among the stars. Sometimes people like to bury it within their vision. Some people like to set it on fire and burn it within their vision. So there's all different ways. You might have your own way, but just allowing the body to actually remove that emotion and discard. And I want you to almost do it with not just intention, but just with time. Like, don't rush it, and allow the body to just feel the sensation of the emotion leaving the body and being discarded. And just taking your time with this process, and when you're ready and you have released those emotions, just a deep breath and hold and big exhale. And then we're going to move on to clearing the cords and contracts that you have with this experience. So the certain people who have come forward for you that are related to this experience, or if you just had a certain person in mind from the beginning who you feel is responsible for many experiences, just allowing those people to come forward into your energetic field. And it doesn't matter if they're already passed or if they're still here on the earth plane, you can still call them into your field. And we're actually allowing our body the wisdom and acknowledging on some soul level we actually entered into a contract with this person. Whether conscious or subconscious, whether during this lifetime or pre this lifetime, we have actually entered into a contract and into a relationship, into an agreement with this person. Some of us were maybe born into a certain family line with purpose attached, and we have created this type of experience or this type of relationship or this type of contract in order for us both to evolve. So the first thing we need to do here is destroy and uncreate and destory any notions or beliefs or thought patterns that we want to tell ourselves where this all falls on the other person and it's all the other person's fault and we are just the victim of the situation and they are the perpetrator. And I know from past experience that can be a very difficult thing to do. So stay with me here and stay open-minded. Of course, on a human level, many of these things that we have experienced weren't kind, weren't fair, and potentially caused us a lot of trauma to work through. So we're still allowed to acknowledge that. We're not here to make that okay or decide that those things are okay to tolerate. Absolutely not. But we are here to learn from those experiences and create a path forward of evolution and growth. And we did set ourselves up to experience those in some way or another. And this is a very important step in learning to be able to take the charge away from this experience and move it through and up and out of the body. So in this moment, we're going to clear anywhere in the body that this experience was your fault, and we're going to clear anywhere in the body that this experience was somebody else's fault. And we're just bringing that whole right and wrong frequency that we like to play with a lot in our human world. We're bringing that back to a neutral. And we're not making anything right or wrong or good or bad or black or white in this moment. We're keeping it neutral, and we're taking that higher perspective again. Allowing our vision to zoom back out and have that eagle eye perspective. So now with that neutrality in place, and with this person or persons that you have called into your field, I simply want you to take a short moment to now ask your body, why? Or even ask the person who's standing in front of you in your field, why? What is the reason? What is the story around this contract that you have created with them? Why have you engaged in this experience? Why have you both agreed to engage in this experience, for example? Some of you might get a really clear and obvious answer, and some might need to dig a little deeper. Again, you don't need to have like a really clear story come through. It might just be a word or a sensation or a theme that wants to come through. It could be that you're here to clear the family line from ancestral trauma. It could be that you're here to reconcile some past life trauma and learn independence, or learn to stand on your own 2 feet. Learn to take responsibility for another, or learn to take responsibility for yourself. It could be to learn and experience love at a deeper level. It could be to learn and experience certain tools so that you can go on to help others. There is no right or wrong here. That's just a little bit of context, and you might get any number of things coming through. And the idea to this exercise is to just further break down that right-wrong messaging that wants to plague the body, and instead just engage in like an honest conversation within that higher perspective realm of the contract you have designed to experience. At the end of the day, for one reason or another, we are experiencing this in order to evolve, but sometimes it helps to know exactly what you're trying to evolve into or away from. And there might be, I'm kind of hoping there's some really big realizations that start to come through for you at this moment. So we're going to let this new access of truth really come into our physical body and almost wash over us. And self-generating that energy force within and allowing it to stretch and expand and send this truth around the body. And we're going to send it back up to our source point and back down to the center of the earth and weave it into our torus field. And allowing this different perspective to start to take shape. Allowing this knowledge, this internal knowledge that we have within ourselves to start to take shape. Allowing a new level of understanding, which will allow us to start to break down the different fragments that are holding this in place and stopping us from moving forward at the speed that we had designed to do. And again, we're going to use our body's intuition and allow our hands or our focus to fall onto our body where we are holding these contracts and these cords with this particular person or people that are associated with this experience. And we're going to start to pull and remove those cords and contracts. And a really cool visual that I like to do is I pull out the cord and the contract, and then I almost visualize myself holding onto the end of a rope whilst the other person is holding onto the other end. And then I just like to simply drop the rope. And then I'm communicating in a really powerful way to myself and to the soul and energy of this other person that I'm not engaging in this contract or in this relationship in this kind of way anymore. For many of us, this particular person might still have a really strong hold in our life, and I want you to be aware that you don't have to be afraid of diminishing your relationship that you have with them. We're focusing on the cord and the contract, not shutting this person out from our lives. Some of you might feel different, and it might be like an avenue that you need to go down, and we can move into that in a different way. That will be almost a natural and positive consequence that might come about from this clearing. But for anyone who's holding any fear around losing this relationship, I want you to just clear that out of the body right now. And we're just bringing our focus back to the cord and the contract, and that's what we're dismantling. And we're allowing that relationship to actually blossom and thrive and evolve together without any negative charges that hold that experience in place. So allowing yourself to simply drop that rope and still say to this person and to yourself, more importantly, I'm not engaging in this relationship or in this contract this way anymore. So some examples of the contracts you might be dropping and letting go of right now, and what's coming through for me is there are a lot of contracts around holding responsibility for other people and holding the need to take care of them and keep them safe, but at the expense of yourself. Or many of us seem to have a contract in place where we're holding the pain and we're holding the guilt, we're holding the grief that somebody else in our family line has experienced, and we've agreed to hold that for them. Another theme or contract that's coming through is sometimes we agree to hold ourselves back because we've made a contract with someone that we're never going to overtake them. And so we hold ourselves back and we don't follow certain dreams or insights that our body tells us to do. We continually hold ourselves back. And these are some of the contracts that might be associated with some of the past experiences that we've had that we're dropping the rope on now. Another one that's just coming through is, I'm feeling for some of us it's relevant that we played into a contract of submission, where we constantly felt inferior. We played into a contract of hierarchy with this person and allowed them to always take the higher road over us and keep us small. And we have played into that. And that's the rope that we're dropping. It's saying we're not playing into that any longer. You might have something completely different coming through, and again, that is okay. So then from here, you're actually going to start to depixelate the person or the people in front of you, and you're going to start to depixelate the visions that you have of yourself. When I say depixelate, you can kind of imagine on a computer like a vision just slowly getting pulled apart and fading. And as we depixelate yourself and this other person or persons, we're removing from this vision that we have of them all of their rights, all of their wrongs, all of their goods, their bads, all of their doubts, all of their fears, all the times that they were there for us and all the times that they weren't. And then we're doing the same back to them. We're removing all of our wrongs and rights, our goods and bads, all of our fears, doubts, judgments, all of the times we were there for them, or all the times that we weren't. So we're keeping this really neutral, and we're allowing both parties to take equal responsibility here. We're allowing the wisdom that we both played into this contract. We're allowing the wisdom of dropping that contract, and we're allowing the wisdom to allow us to depixelate both ourselves and them, and shedding all of those things that make us human away. And we're shedding that all away until we both become just this beautiful image of a soul beyond this human lifetime. Again, like your source point earlier, like it just is, and there's no good or bad or wrong or right here. There's just love and acceptance for yourself and for all of those around you. And I'm actually just going to leave you here for a moment to just sit in that space, allowing that space to feel really peaceful and neutral We're going to bring in the 9th dimensional frequency of that all is, and that, we can be at one with the universe, and that really peaceful, subtle reverence that wants to come through when we're in that space, when you're just back at soul level and you're connecting with somebody else at soul level. And I'm just going to leave you there for a moment to just sit in that space. And when you're ready, you're just going to communicate with this other soul that you see them, you accept them, you acknowledge them, and you forgive them. And you might have to say that to yourself a few times to really bring in the power of those words and the frequency of those words. I see, I accept, I acknowledge, I forgive. I see, I accept, I acknowledge, I forgive. And after repeating those words a few times, either out loud or in your head, you're then going to allow the other soul to say those things back to you. I see you, I accept, I acknowledge, I forgive. And we're having those words transpire between the two of you. And when you receive those words back, I really want you to expand them throughout your body. Shoot them up to your source point and shoot them back down to the center of the earth and really ground them in through your feet. We're going to allow your body to receive them as truth. And you might need to take a little bit of time here and say them to yourself multiple times for that to feel really resonant. So just working at your own pace here. The word that I especially love to play and amplify here is the forgiveness piece. And again, I'm just being clear for those of you that might have a little bit of hesitation here. Forgiveness doesn't mean tolerating, or it doesn't mean making bad treatment okay. It just means you can see the higher perspective of why something played out the way that it did, and you can release that charge from your body and move on, creating new boundaries and new levels of what you will and won't tolerate, but without that negative charge or mindset attached to it. Forgiveness is not forgetting, forgiveness is evolving and choosing what will hold you back and what won't. And when we can access that true frequency of the word, we really set ourselves free. So just allowing that to wash over your body, allowing you to say the words I forgive and receive the words I forgive. We're forgiving others and we're also forgiving ourselves in this situation, which makes it extra powerful and very necessary. And then when we're ready, what we're actually going to do is we're going to pass through each soul or souls that were in front of us. We're going to pass through them from like head to toe, one after the other. And through this process, you're just allowing your body and your soul to discard everything that does not belong to you, or belief systems, projections, experiences that do not belong to you, and recoup everything that does. And allowing the other souls the opportunity to do the same. Because somewhere along the lines we've picked up a lot of things that belong to them that aren't actually ours to carry, and vice versa. And we're allowing that neutrality to just bring us back into our own body with our own selves, and allowing them the same. And it's just deepening that cord and contract release that we were doing earlier. And so also just taking your time here moving through each soul, discarding all that is not yours, recouping all that is. And then when you're finished with that, we're just going to activate that gratitude. We're going to thank those souls and those people for showing up with us today. And then we're going to push them out of our field. and just really bring ourselves back to our own center again. And we're just going to take a moment here, a deep breath here. And we're going to come back to that past experience, and we're going to bring through the environment that we were in, the house that we lived in, or the school that we went to, the work environment, or if we're channeling a specific experience in time, just wherever you were in that moment. You might have been at somebody else's house, or you might have been at a shopping center, an airport, whatever environment you're in this particular experience or that time period of experiences. We're going to bring that forth, and we're also going to bring forth all the data and information and institutions that were prevalent in that time. So what I mean by that is, if you're bringing forward a school environment, you're not just going to bring through the environment, you're going to bring through the teachers, you're going to bring through the rules, you're going to bring through what was expected of you and all the projections and opinions tied up in that setting. If you're at home, again, you're going to bring through whatever other relevant family members might have played a minor role in that time period. You're going to bring through the house, you're going to bring through the rules, the expectations, and everything that's tied up in that environment. And the truth of the matter is we learnt a lot about ourselves in that environment, but we also learnt a lot about what's not ourselves in that environment. And we also took a lot of things into our body as truth that are not actually our truth. So any projections or opinions that were thrown your way from family members or teachers or whatever environment you're in, we're compiling all of that up into almost like a little ball. We're getting this environment together, we're getting the institution, the rules, the information around, the projections, the things that were said to us, the things that we bought into. Maybe this is where some belief systems generated that we're not good enough or we're not smart enough. Insert whatever is relevant for you here, and we're bringing all of that up and out of the body and into a ball, and we're going to start to clear and depixelate all of those things as well. So we've done the people, like the main characters of this experience, and now we're bringing in everything else: the place, the environment, the other people, the actual words, the actual feelings, experiences, etc. The information and all the things that we learnt during that time that isn't actually true to us and our path forward, and we're almost going to unplug. So again, using your intuition, you're going to find in your body and let your hands or your focus fall there where you have plugged in to these beliefs, this mindset, and this way of being within this scope of environment. And you're actually just going to unplug. You're going to like rip it out as if it's like an electrical plug in the wall. You're choosing to unplug your body and your energy field from all of that data and information that has had a hold on your body for this time. And so with that, the relevant people and words, information and experiences want to dissolve as you unplug that from your body. And as we did earlier, we're going to start to depixelate that and start to discard that and either compost that back into the earth, compost that back out into the universe, and allow it to slowly just separate and disappear. And then again, we're going to allow ourselves to move through it and come out on the other side, discarding everything that does not belong to us and recouping everything that does. And this exercise really helps us to dismantle these structures that have actually hold these negative belief systems that we have into place. And sometimes we concentrate only on the people, and that's relevant too, but we forget to actually collapse and move the structure of the environment that we were in out of our body. And that's what we're doing in this moment. Once we've moved through the other side, we're actually going to collapse any fragments of this experience that is connected to past lives. So most of us here have actually had past lives on this planet, and it is very normal for us to bring through anything we didn't reconcile in that past life through into this lifetime. However, a lot of the time it will still show up very differently because we're in a completely different time period and things change and evolve naturally within that setting, but we can still pull through unreconciled things and play them out again within these experiences. So while some parts of it are connected to cords and contracts with other people, some parts of it are connected to the structure of the environment that we were in, some parts of it are connected to what we've brought through from a past life. And so it's important to acknowledge that aspect too, and allow the body's wisdom to start to dismantle that as well. And how I like to do this is I like to picture like a stack of dominoes. You might have your own way of doing this, but for those who need a visual, I like to picture like a stack of dominoes, and each domino represents an experience or a theme that I've repeated over and over and over again through this lifetime and many others before that. And then we're actually kind of knock them over, or I like to use the terminology of folding them in. And we're allowing each of those experiences that we've experienced from this lifetime or any other to actually collapse and fold in on themselves. And you might naturally know what this connection to your past life might be, and if that's the case, then that's great, and use your intuition to collapse what you know is relevant for you. Some of you might not be getting much of a lead on that at all, and that's also okay. And in that case, you're using the main theme that has come through for you in this experience, and you're collapsing anywhere and everywhere you've bought and sold the idea that this is an experience that you're destined to experience time and time again. Maybe your theme was abandonment, and so you're saying anywhere and everywhere I've bought and sold the idea that I will experience constant abandonment lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. That's the sort of thing that you're playing around with and collapsing at this moment. And you're just visualizing those dominoes, each representing a different experience across the different lifetimes. And you don't even necessarily need to know what each experience is. You just need to know the overarching theme, which will be the overarching theme of the past experience we've already been dealing with. And you're just allowing that to collapse over the course of all of your lifetimes. And then just taking a deep breath here and allowing that to fold in permanently. And then we're also going to reconcile our ancestral connections. So we've done past life, we've done the environment, and we've done the people. And now there is almost always a connection to these past experiences that have come down the ancestral line, and our ancestors have experienced them over and over and over again as well. Maybe in slightly different contexts, relevant to the time frame and the time period, but there's still a theme there that's connecting and holding this in place. So again, we're taking this past experience that we've been working with, or the general nature of it, and we're now going to allow ourselves to call forth all of our ancestors that want to show up today. It might just be your mother line, might be your father line, or it might be both of them. So allowing your body's wisdom and your intuition to guide you to what's relevant for you. And again, you don't necessarily need to see everyone, we're just inviting in their presence. And then just like a big heavy cloak, we're going to lift that past experience that we're clearing up and over the top of our bodies and top of our head, and it's going to drop behind us onto the floor. And we're essentially moving that cloak or that shadow that has been heavy on our body for all of these years, and we're allowing it to drop to the floor behind us. We're allowing our body to stand a little taller, our shoulders a little higher, as we allow our body to release that level of weight that we were holding for our ancestors. And then I like this really cool visual of like bending down and picking up this big heavy cloak and nicely folding it, and then handing it back to your mother or father or both, whatever is relevant, And in this moment, you're handing back those ancestral stories, that ancestral imprinting within this past experience. You're handing it back from your body, back to where it came from. And in that notion, again, you're allowing your body to communicate with yourself and that of your ancestors that this isn't a story that you're going to hold in your body any longer. And then you get to witness either your mother or father or both take the big heavy cloaks up and over their bodies and hand it back to their parents behind them. And we're just going to watch those ancestral imprintings be handed back up the ancestral line, slowly clearing from each generation, all the way up and up and up, and then back down the family line, all the way to your children and the generations to follow. And we're just going to shoot it up and back multiple times, quickly liberating the family line and allowing this aspect that was holding this experience in place to disappear. And I'm just going to give you a moment and some time to allow that to unfold. And taking a deep breath and coming back into your body as soon as you feel that that is complete. And then again, activating that gratitude and pushing those family members out, those ancestors out, and bringing yourself back into your body. And now here we've cleared the different fragments that like to hold these past experiences into place and hold the charge over our body. And so with all of that now acknowledged and cleared, we're coming back to that beautiful neutral space and seeing clearly, more clearly than ever, the evolution that has unfolded since this experience. And I don't just mean right now, although that might be profound as well. I mean allowing yourself to reflect back over your life since this experience took place and allowing yourself to see the truth of evolution and growth that has applied itself to your body. What is different? Are you the same person? Have you grown? Have you become more resilient? What gifts were received on the other side of this experience? Are you more connected? Are you stronger? Do you parent your children differently? Do you engage in life differently? This might work really well with some intuitive journaling. So if that feels really good for you, then that's definitely an avenue to take, and you can even bring yourself back into your body now and allow yourself to intuitively journal. What has changed for you? What has evolved for you? How have you up-leveled since this experience? It's really important to reflect and acknowledge and celebrate that, to really ground in this new perspective that we are taking on and really allowing us to move forward at a higher level. It really helps allow that deeper understanding of acceptance and that deeper connection that we have with our higher self and that source point, and that deeper connection we have with our own abilities to create, to manifest, however that looks for you. Continuing to create the life that you desire and continuing to create those future experiences, whether pleasant or challenging, in order for you to continue to up-level and continue to create. So not only does this meditation and this healing we've done clear that charge to these past experiences, it helps clear the charge to the future experiences. Sometimes as humans, we're really good at attaching too much story to each experience and dwelling into it a little bit too long, rather than using it as a challenge to just up-level and keep going. And so this is a really cool guided meditation that you can come back to time and time again. If you have multiple past experiences you want to clear, then you can come back and do this again. Or if it's something that you need to do in the future, then this is a great tool, and you'll actually get really, really fast at it. You'll actually be able to just start clearing the people, the places, the ancestral connections and the past life connections, like within a matter of minutes. The key here is just bringing in the understanding and the perspective of what these experiences are for us, and then we can move through them really quickly. So if you're still in that meditative space now, I invite you to come back into the room, keeping your energy really strong and big and taking up that place within the body, up to the source point, down to the center of the earth, out in front of you, to the side of you, behind you. Like really keeping that going for yourself and allowing it to slowly settle back into a natural flow state. Allowing yourself to stretch and move your body as you need to. That can be really beneficial after some big energy work. Allowing yourself to drink lots of water. And if you're not already, then definitely doing some intuitive journaling on your reflection and your celebration piece of how you have evolved. And as always, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your aha moments and your little pieces of insights that dropped in, and how you're feeling on the other side of this healing meditation, and what has come through for you. I would love to witness and celebrate alongside you, so please let me know. Thank you.